Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped. Something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Are you still in the States?
I am in the States.
Oh.
I'm camping this weekend, so I am on the banks of the Edisto River right now, and that's what I'm looking at. The sunset here is nice.
That's wonderful. So you've got Wi-Fi or cellular.
Yeah, I'm at the little the house that the park provides.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. And it's beautiful, and I guess I'm not that allergic to pollen because I've survived.
Were you afraid of that, or is that something you had?
Yeah, I thought that was one of my leading problems, and it's really hard to find pollen data, and I've been hiding out in my house for 2 weeks and afraid to go outside for too long, and then I threw myself into the woods for a couple of days, and I'm totally fine. So,
well, surprise.
All right.
Okay.
So, enough about me.
Yeah. I was able to take 20 minutes or so before, just up into this call and sitting and checking in and fell asleep. That's usually what happens. And just aware of I've just been edgy today. And I don't know why, if it's about being on this call. I always have a feeling of nervousness, like it's like a job interview or a performance or a test,
Okay,
that's
good to know.
The feeling that usually comes up. And I don't know if that's what it is today, but the only thing about today that's different is having this appointment. So,
yeah, okay.
But that's kind of a familiar feeling.
Okay. Well, we can check in with that and see if that's what it's about. If the edginess is about that feeling when you come on the call, performance, job interview. Just take some time, look inside, ask.
And I'm sure we started there before. I think, that's often how I'm showing up. So, and then there's another part that I've been curious about, but I just don't really understand. That is about how I interact with my wife. That there's some ways that she communicates that just irritate me.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I don't know. And I feel shame about it.
Mm.
But, and I've thought about it. I'm like, what is it about this? Anyway, so that's another thing that I just like.
Shame about being irritated?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just get, unfriendly.
Yeah. Okay.
So those are options.
Okay. Yeah. My intuition is to check in with that one that feels edgy or has the job interview feeling just first. Even if we do go elsewhere, that would be good to try to understand first. And, even if it does come up every conversation, it might have the same good reason for coming up every time. So,
yeah, I'm sure. Okay.
Yeah, just see if you can feel into that, where in your body that sensation is or what the energy is like.
It's sort of a shortness of breath feeling, a tightness in the chest,
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a fearful emotion.
Okay. How do you feel towards it?
It's mixed because I know I'm almost intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to understand it, but I was thinking about this earlier. Compassion isn't my default.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while to get there. So
yeah. And is the intimidation? Does it feel like it's intimidation of that part, or does it feel like it's the part's intimidation?
Yeah, I think it was like feeling intimidated by the part.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we can turn to the intimidated one too and see what its concern is. What's the intimidation about? Anything it wants you to know about that?
I'm just trying to go inside and get in touch with the sensations because I don't know how else to check in.
Yep, that's the way.
There's that old familiar not wanting to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the edgy performance job interview part has a feeling like not wanting to get in trouble.
It seems like that's what's underneath there.
Okay.
It's trying to not get into trouble. Be careful. You better get it right.
Okay.
Something like that.
Are you feeling curious about it?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. It's like, wow, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Or,
you could ask it. Where does that come from? Or anything else it wants you to know about itself.
Yeah. It's just so familiar. I mean, it feels like, been here before with the kid who doesn't want to be punished.
Mm-hmm.
It's just surprising how pervasive it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you might let it know that. Just that you notice how pervasive it is and how often it wants to get your attention.
Now there's feelings of tenderness and sort of a pity, almost.
Mm-hmm. You could ask, is there anything you can do for this part? Just over the next, let's say, hour when you talk to me, is there anything, and maybe we want to spend more time with this part and learn lots about it, but let's say we aren't going to focus on the part. Is there anything that you can do for it to help it?
But giving it space is what comes up. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but
Okay. Yeah. Just take your time. Ask it what that looks like.
something about turning towards it instead of um, avoiding or
Mm-hmm.
um,
Trying to get past it.
yeah, trying to figure it out or resolve it or fix it, um, instead of just looking at it.
Mm-hmm. So that's been its experience, is that it tries to get your attention, and then other parts of you maybe turn away or just try to figure it out, and aren't giving it that. It's not getting that self presence that it wants.
Yeah, that seems like it.
Okay. If it feels right, you could apologize and just not having been there in the way that it wants, and let it know that you have time now and that you're trying to make the space now.
Mm. Yeah, there's a sense of calm. Feels soothed or something.
Okay. So what feels right? Should we stay with it and learn more about where it comes from and what it needs from you in the big picture? Or it's soothed, so let's turn to another part.
Yeah, it feels understood. And I just thinking about that other part, it could be the same part that gets irritated with because it's when she's trying to explain her position or explain her reasoning, or I think I have a part that it feels like I'm being told what to do or how to think, or
Okay. Okay, we can explore that. I would just check with this part that had the edginess, if it's okay with us exploring that other stuff. Or if it would like more time and attention.
Yeah. It just feels very calm and relaxed. It doesn't feel like there's more.
Okay.
It needs me to know.
Okay. Yeah, well, if it does feel pervasive, and it can be a part that you keep close and high on the list to let it know that you can come back to it and you can spend more time with it.
I'm kind of feeling blank.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, because you said it had a kind of pervasive quality.
Yeah.
It seems to me like here's an anxious part and now it's relaxed, and that could be a great kind of short-term how to handle it in the moment, but also that you could arrange, and you could tell it that you could arrange to spend more time with it if it feels like something that needs more attention.
Yeah. I'm drawing a little symbol for you.
Drawing a symbol.
Yeah. To remind me of this part.
Nice. Excellent. Okay. Anything else before we shift and look at that other trailhead?
No, I would just kind of go in there.
Okay. So your wife tries to explain her position, and you have a part of you that feels maybe resentful or irritated by she's telling me how to think, and then another part that feels some shame around that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely it just gets my hackles up, so it's something that brings up anger.
Mm-hmm.
And then that feels like inappropriate. So then I feel bad about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, maybe we could first check in with this one that says it's inappropriate and the shame. And just ask it if it would be okay for you to get to know better the part that gets angered, irritated.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Good starting place, because I start getting blended with that shame part. So it's nice to speak to that.
Yeah. So does it need anything else to soften back and let us get curious about the anger?
No, I think it feels understood.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
up in my
Nice. Great. You're doing great naming parts and speaking for them. All right. So how are you feeling towards the part that gets angry and irritated?
Well, it's got to have a really good reason, and I am proud of any part of me that that is willing to get angry, because that's a really hard emotion for me to access.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of impressed by that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And it sounds like you're extending some empathy or some generosity and saying it must have a good reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let it know that if that's the way you're feeling and that you've asked space from the other parts, like the shame, and invite it to notice you. And you could try asking it what it wants you to know.
I'm having a hard time visualizing it or communicating with it. I'm not getting much.
Okay. Is that just because it's not present right now, or like it feels like a distant memory, or does it feel like it doesn't want to talk right now? It doesn't want to share.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It could be either of those.
Okay. Okay. So if it feels kind of distant, you can really put yourself back in that time when you are getting irritated in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of a recent time and see if you can kind of draw out that part. Notice the sensations in your body.
When I'm remembering the interaction, the voice that I hear, that I'm not, this is not what I'm saying, it's um, the reaction that I'm remembering is something about, you're not listening to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something about that. I'm not, like,
Okay.
my voice isn't being heard or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So you could take that back to this part and say, okay, is this what makes you irritated? Is feeling like you're not being listened to? And let it know that we want to listen to it now.
there's a feeling of confusion, like a muddled feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going by what I know it happens a lot, and I get irritated, and I feel like I'm being told what to do. I guess maybe it's a feeling of being controlled or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The confusion and muddled. Is that what you're experiencing, or was that what the part is experiencing? Is that what the?
Well, I'm just there's not a clear
Okay.
explanation or response.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was trying to figure out if you're feeling confused, right now in dialogue with this part.
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
think not
That's all right.
understanding what it's trying to say.
Okay. Yeah, let it know that. Let it know that you're here to try to bring some light and get some clarity and understand it. That you want to listen to it. That his feelings matter. And that you know that it's there for a good reason.
Yeah, I just had a sense of just being patient with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was more what was needing to happen, felt like.
Good. Great.
It's like there'll be plenty of opportunities to get to know this part. Happens all the time.
Yeah. And when it happens, does the part feel like your self energy is present for it to
No,
have some? Okay. Yeah.
not in the moment at all. No.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So that's just a difference you might want to point out to it, is that you can see how in the moment when it blends with you and it feels like it's not being listened to, that's an irritating experience, and that right now it can have a different experience. And it doesn't have to say anything, but just let it know you're curious about it.
Yeah, I think that feeling of patience was really helpful. It's like it just wants me to be patient to get to know it because it's
Great.
complicated.
Yeah.
That makes me feel more compassionate,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
feel better.
Yeah.
Better relationship.
Yeah.
Gives me hope because I've been feeling like I just can't do this.
Right. Yeah. So it gets these feelings about being controlled.
Yeah, I think I'm put a lot of pressure on myself to resolve all these parts and situations, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so I think that's another part, and I'm just feeling compassion for that part.
Great. Yeah. Yeah, it's a admirable, right? For this part that wants to resolve everything.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it feels overwhelmed when it feels like there's too much.
Yeah. Like it needs just.
I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, I was just thinking that it feels like it just needs permission to not have to work so hard.
Yeah, great. The working to resolve one.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
one sort of like that gives me this feeling of I just can't do it right or can't figure it out or
Yeah.
not
Okay.
competent.
Right. Yep. I just let it know that makes sense. And you can also kind of show it your path, that the way you got here today. We've had to talk to 4 or 5 parts to get to this one, and that's very typical, right? That's nothing wrong with that, but that's how it works.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I guess it's a way of just saying that when you're blended, the work is harder.
Mm-hmm.
When any part is taking over, then it makes it harder to work with the others. You can't work with the angry one if the shame one is there, and etc.
Yeah. Although the when the emotions come up and I'm feeling them, I mean that really helps me get in touch with what's happening,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not like, I mean, it would be hard to access what's happening with the part if I wasn't feeling the feeling.
Right. Yep. So they know how to get your attention.
Yeah.
As far as, resolving all the situations and all the parts, I guess I just want to set or explain my intention, which is to listen to parts and try to understand them.
Mm-hmm.
And they might let us know what they need, as opposed to we have to figure out what they need, kind of thing.
Yeah, that sounds like makes sense.
Yeah. But I also want to make sure that I'm not pushing you, that you're not feeling pushed to.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a part that, it's definitely a part that just is always driven to be seen as capable.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Does this part need anything else before we turn back to the one that's feeling controlled?
It seems like it's feeling seen.
Yeah. Okay. So if we're getting back in touch with that angry one, does it want to show you or tell you more about those feelings of being controlled and any memories coming up about that? Or
No, that's where I'm kind of back to. I mean, that's what I was asking it, and it's kind of back to this just feels complicated, and I'm just not, if it's not able to tell me that right now, I don't think.
okay,
It doesn't seem like it.
well, that's all right. Let it know that's all right. We're going to be patient, and that there is no pressure to resolve all the parts and situations. How's your feeling of self-energy in this moment? Curious and or compassionate?
Yeah, I was just thinking about knowing that or realizing that when those situations come up, I do have there is enough safety in the relationship that I could bring it up. I mean, that's a possibility at the time. And that would be, I mean, that's definitely an option, that's there. So that feels.
To speak for the parts in you that are coming up?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I just can unblend a little bit.
Yeah, you could check that out with the part. Say, what would you think about if and when this happens again? I say, hey, part of me feels really irritated. Part of me feels like it's being controlled. And and ask the parts how they would feel about you speaking for them in that way, in that situation.
Yeah, that's what I was just feeling like I was letting the part know that that's definitely doable. I mean, there's nothing that would prevent that from happening. I mean, there's enough.
Yeah. I was wondering what its thoughts about that were.
Yeah. Well, it was feeling like, yeah, that's a good not compromise. Like that's a satisfying
way forward.
Yes. Yeah.
Takes practice. And you're right, it takes some unblending. Maybe that's something you could ask from them. You could say, when you're fully blended with me, that's going to be difficult for me to speak for you in that way. Maybe ask the parts if there's anything they need to not blend to that degree, or to allow you to speak for them. What that would look like.
Yeah, I've been I've been able to do that before. So there's a sense of excitement, like that's a real possibility. And a way forward, a way for the part to be seen,
yeah,
and understood.
Yeah. Do any concerns come up when you imagine doing that? Do any of the parts say, well, no, here's why we don't want to do that?
No, it feels more like a excitement is what's
okay
coming up. It's like, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be really nice.
Yeah,
speak for your parts and then have your partner acknowledge them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, and if they don't acknowledge them or it's not received in a certain way, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm stopping myself because I don't know if that's going to be your situation. It's been mine sometimes, right? Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. I mean, that it's unlikely. I mean,
yeah.
It only is more. I don't have a fear of that.
Great.
Not happening.
Great. Okay. So what's next? What does this part need from you going forward? Is there any planning to do or anything else that it wants to ask of you? Does it want to role play this?
It just feels like it would make more sense in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems so confusing, like to imagine the scenario. And it's kind of confusing at the time, but it just makes more, it feels like it makes more sense to speak for it in the moment.
Okay. We'll check with the parts if there's anything else that they want from you in our conversation, or that they would need from you going forward. Any questions or concerns they have.
It just feels like there's an appreciation for the clarity.
Great.
Now compared to the beginning of the hour. Because it was just feeling like a jumble of parts that I couldn't get in touch with.
Yeah. You did a great job navigating them and speaking for each of them, I think. And how about the one that had the pressure to resolve it all? How's it feeling about our work here today?
Feels like it doesn't have to work so hard. Feels like, well, yeah, that would be a better way to go about it.
Yeah.
But, things getting resolved in sort of an organic way rather than feeling like you have to figure it all out and
right.
Get it right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm sensing too, that this would be a lot simpler, easier than figuring it all out. It would be to make a commitment to speak for my parts the next time I'm in that situation with my primary person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm remembering I read something someone posted, something about I'm prepared to be imperfect today, or something like that. I
Mm-hmm.
forget the exact words.
Mm-hmm.
I know, just permission to be however.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. If you don't feel that permission to be however, that makes it really hard to speak for parts. Because
Yeah.
then I can't tell you that I'm feeling controlled and I'm feeling irritated, and I'm also feeling some shame about feeling irritated, because all of that sounds very not perfect, right?
And yeah, that pressure to be perfect is very messy.
Mm-hmm.
Much more relaxing
Yeah.
to not be that.
Okay. Well, anything else? Any other parts or questions, comments, concerns, intentions that you'd like to set, brainstorming to do?
The last time in terms of staying up to date
Mhm.
with these parts, is last time I drew just images of how the part felt, and then like every day I would go back and just like look at it or draw another image of that part, just kind of to touch in to how I to
Nice. It's
just a
great.
way to check in, like an actual physical way to check in.
That's great. Yep, I've done similar, externalizing them, drawing them, drawing the scenes, drawing the thing that they want.
Mm-hmm. So I will do that
Okay.
this afternoon, and it'll be and I usually, I keep it up for a week or two, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not something I commit to doing forever, but it's just a way to keep fresh without what's left with what I've uncovered, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Feel like a place we should stop, or are there other parts that you'd like to speak for?
No, nothing's bubbling up at the moment.
Okay.
It's pretty
Great.
resolved.
Yeah. Okay. I would love to hear how it goes.
Okay.
And yeah, feeling happy and optimistic. I'm just thinking, wow, just think if we all made that shift of speaking for our parts, especially in hard conversations with loved ones.
Yeah.
Just the power in that.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you, James.
Thank you.
And
I'll send you this call and look forward to hearing from you.
Okay. And
Okay.
and you're sending it in Discord, is that right?
I've gone back and forth.
Okay.
So
I've gotten into the habit of checking Discord.
I see you're on there more and more. So maybe
Yeah.
That is my normally preferred place, so I'll do that if that's right with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. All right. Enjoy your sunset.
Oh, I have. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.